The Cores and Radio 809. We are going live on Facebook. We are live on Facebook with Ian Davidson, Director of Modern Vocal Training. He's from the UK. And Wendy Tan, Regional Mentor for MVT Singapore. We're going to dive into techniques to keep your voice healthy and tips that you can use on air, on stage, in everyday life. We all need to use our voice properly. Ian, Wendy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome stuff. It's going to be a great conversation today. You guys actually have an in-person training session this weekend at Suntec City, right?
That's
That's
correct.
right, yes.
Interesting. Are there still places available?
Just one or two spots.
One or two.
Yep.
See, told you all to go and do it, didn't do, huh? Now on. Okay, let's get started on this. Singapore is seeing a surge of adults joining choirs, workplace singing groups, even casual sing-alongs. We'll start with Wendy. Why do you think singing is making such a comeback?
I guess people, post-COVID especially, people want to feel connected again. And there's just this immense reflection about what they want in life, you know. And singing is such a good way to get reconnected with each other. And it become a social thing where you come together, and that it's a good way of expressing emotional well-being, just helping yourself and supporting one another.
It's supposed to be very therapeutic as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? They say
Absolutely.
they say for a lot of therapies, music is absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely, and there's lots of evidence out there for heart rate synchronizing in choir groups, for mass endorphin generation, you know, these kind of things. So like the mental, the emotional, the physical benefits, because it's very aerobic as well,
Right.
are all very well documented and very well studied as well.
Hang on. Heart rate synchronizing
Yeah.
in a choir.
Yeah.
Because that blows my mind. I've only ever once done a heart rate sync, and believe it or not, I did it with a horse. Wasn't quite a choir. I did it with a horse. But you mean the heart rate's actually
Yeah,
synchronized?
people's heart rates can synchronize, yes, absolutely.
That is unbelievable.
It's really powerful. Really powerful.
Wow, that's crazy. Are people starting later in life as well? All
think-
this singing?
We're seeing people of all ages, really. I think in the UK, we have like a baby boomer generation of people who retired early and have like a good pension, but decades of life still ahead of them, you know. And so I see lots of people of that generation kind of doing different choirs every night of the week,
Right.
basically of different kind of genres.
Right.
But I think it's popular with young people. It's popular with middle-aged people. It's a popular thing.
What
across
about
the board.
Singapore, Wendy?
It's quite similar. Yeah, and like post 55 years old, finally they feel like, and it's quite common in my coaching field that we have a group of people post 55 or 50 years old, and they say that I've always wanted to sing, but I didn't have time, and they just want to, find out what their voice can do.
It's quite interesting because I don't sing because I believe I can't. I have sung once in public in my entire life. I have sung once. And that one experience, my legs were like jelly. They were like jelly. Because, and Wendy will know what this is, it was on the President's Star Charity. So that scared the hell out of me. Okay, we're going to go live onto Facebook and continue our interview talking about your voice. And we'll give you some voice tips on a healthy voice. All right, we are on Facebook.
I just wonder, do you think he's a perfect candidate to like prove and dispel that myth that, you have to be born with the ability to sing?
Absolutely. I did my master's thesis on this. So
You.
Hey, I
she
also
does
think
this all
that I
the time.
can't sing, so we could do it together.
No, we're not going to do it together.
And then we can
I want to talk about the
harmonize and,
master's thesis. Stop it.
So I wanted to look at why so many people, especially in the West, would declare themselves to be tone deaf.
Yes.
Okay,
Right?
okay,
So when
interesting.
people meet me, and I think it's probably the same for you, Wendy, as soon as they find out what you do, the first thing they always say is, I cannot sing to save my life.
Yes.
As if I'm going to make them on the spot, right? And so I wanted to research this, why is this happening? And so I had to put together a control group of people who really believed that they were tone deaf. And I worked with them initially one-to-one and was very quickly able to bring them into tune. Right?
Really?
And so I had to delve kind of deeper and deeper, and ultimately it turned out that every single one of them had a traumatic childhood memory of being humiliated for singing.
Yes.
And I ended up coining a term, which is adophobia, which is fear of singing.
Wow.
And these guys, like the public singing of Happy Birthday was a terrifying ordeal for these people.
Really?
So they would make they'd be in the bathroom and then they'd come out, oh, did I miss the cake? Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, any excuse to try and avoid singing Happy Birthday in public, you know.
Oh my goodness.
And it was really quite fascinating, the results that came from that.
Wow.
Because
So does that mean that anybody can actually sing?
well, in doing this research, there is 4% of the population who have something called amusia, which is like a clinical tone deafness.
Okay.
But that can be acquired as well through like a head trauma, like stroke or something like that.
Right.
Sure.
But these people, they would tend to speak more kind of monotone, and their brains don't tend to process music very well, so they're unlikely to come seeking help for singing anyway.
Yeah.
But that means a whopping 96% of us have the facility.
They actually have the ability.
The facility to be able to sing and sing in pitch. It's just that not all of the 96% would have everything serendipitously aligned to create a sound that people want to listen to.
Right.
So
sometimes it's exposure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
No. But it's fascinating. I mean, you mentioning about how those people who had a fear of singing was because of some early trauma.
They could recall the day, how old their classroom teacher, who they were sat next to, like a really vivid traumatic memory from childhood about it.
Wow.
Okay, now that you say that,
You have one?
as Ian was saying that,
Yeah.
I used to be in a church choir.
Me too.
And I remember how upset I was when the choir leader turned around and said, "Your voice is cracked, we don't need you anymore."
That's terrible. It's the
That's-
worst thing you can say to a young boy.
And
That's
that was
terrible.
it.
And this
Do
is
you
where we
think it
lose our
might
men.
be
I don't know. Maybe that was it, and that's why I can't sing anymore.
This is where
I
we
don't
lose
know.
our men, definitely. It really is.
Damn.
You know what?
My hair's standing talking
no,
about
but
it.
you
Wow.
need to. You
Whoa.
need to, like, this is what you need to do, KFT.
Why,
you need to go
why,
and
why?
train yourself because you obviously can sing. You were part of a choir, right? And then we
Long
just
time ago.
treated so badly by this, choir master.
yeah.
Then we bring out your singing voice, which is already in there, right? And
Yeah.
then you go back to that church and you sing.
I sing.
Yeah.
I
know
will
what-
be in the pews and I'll be like, yeah.
I don't know if that choir master is
Yeah.
still alive, but
Such
yeah,
a cruel
we can
thing
try
to
this.
do.
We can
the-
find his grave and sing at it.
Okay, the other thing I want to ask, again, this is not part of the questions that we
Yep.
were going to ask, but people say to have a good presentation voice, for people like us or people who do business presentations, before our shift or before making a presentation, nothing like chili, nothing like potato chips, peanuts. Is that real?
I mean, some of it is common sense.
Subjective as
But
well.
some of it is very subjective, absolutely. So, for
Okay,
example,
okay.
there's a lot of mythology around dairy. Right?
Yeah, dairy as well.
Now, dairy is,
Yeah.
as humans, we're the only animals on the planet that consume the milk of another animal, right?
yeah.
So we're all a little bit lactose intolerant to some extent. It is a
Okay.
mucus-based product, so it does get a
Okay.
bit kind of claggy
Yeah.
in there.
Okay.
But I wouldn't have a milkshake and a cheese sandwich before performing,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But I was certainly a mouse in a former life, so
Okay.
I'm not giving up cheese for anybody, right? It's just, you have to be careful.
Right.
It's like things
Okay.
like Dutch courage, like people might take alcohol before they go on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's gassy, it makes you burp,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
things like that that you
Yeah,
just...
it's more of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have like a fizzy drink or anything like that before going on stage.
Okay,
because it's just going to make
okay.
you burp, and that's going to be uncomfortable.
But in the Asian context, Wendy, things like chilies and curries and
I guess it's more towards like whether it irritates you. Like for me personally, chili doesn't do a thing to me. I mean, it's I'm okay. I'm good.
yeah.
Chicken curry, rendang,
Yeah,
nasi
yeah.
lemak. I'm okay. Yeah, but it's for me. It's the regime of like when you react. Like in the morning, I cannot. I can only drink water. I don't even
Okay.
take breakfast
Okay.
Wow.
because anything that I take, it kind of like
Makes you
messes
feel a
up
bit
my
nervous.
voice.
Sure, sure,
So
sure.
I'll usually do the steam only and then just water.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Explain the steam.
Oh, so the steam is an excellent way to kind of like settles your voice, and when you inhale, the steam kind of go in and go right into the back of your nose. Yeah,
really?
So that it clears up. Yeah, your nasal sinusitis. All this kind of like make you feel better.
So it's just clear steam. It's not like like when we have the flu, right? You mix Vicks in water and then you put your head over.
Just clear steam.
It's just clear steam. It's
Yeah,
just water.
steam,
Yes. You can nebulize.
I was thinking of a nebulized saline.
I nebulize saline.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Because any water you drink, it's probably going to take about 3 hours before that gets anywhere near your vocal cords, right?
Right.
Okay.
And so the
Saline
mechanism's designed.
accelerates that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the steam is the only way to topically get hydration onto your vocal cords.
Yeah.
That's very
So it's an
interesting.
instant kind of hit.
And not every kind of saline is the 9%.
0.9%. Yeah,
0.9%.
So you
0.9%
have to have
saline.
sort of
Not the one that you use, to clean your eyes.
Yeah.
So 0.9%
Yes.
saline is
Oh,
what you
okay.
use.
What you use, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is
Wow,
correct.
okay. I hope you guys are writing all this down, okay?
I know I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. The word technique sometimes scares people off.
Yes.
What does good technique actually mean? Because I've been in this industry 45 years. I still don't know what it means.
I think when people hear technique in relation to singing, I think they tend to think of the more kind of classical traditions of singing.
So your baritones, your sopranos,
and operatic training,
Yeah,
and kind of classical
yeah,
training,
yeah.
But ultimately, technique is just about habilitation, right? And habilitation is, we want to be habilitated so that we don't have to be rehabilitated, right?
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
habilitation
Interesting.
is just existing within the function of your body in terms of what it's actually designed to do.
Okay.
And so for us, technique is bringing a person in line with what their body can already do. So we carry so much baggage around with us, cultural, language, all these different things. And so we can end up using our voices in ways which aren't optimum for us. And so a good vocal technique is basically working with the person in front of you.
Okay.
Because not everybody's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And kind of figuring out how do we get this person's voice into what we would call balance, which is a balance of muscular effort and air pressure from the lungs. And that can cross the board from singing to speaking to anything really. And it's just trying to get us more aware of this instrument that we only have one.
Yes,
We
yes.
can't go out and buy another one.
Absolutely.
And so, you wouldn't leave your guitar out in the rain. So, but we treat our voices appallingly a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's trying to bring people's awareness and focus into the habilitation of voices.
Right.
All right, we're back on air. And of course, we're in the midst of a really, really fascinating interview. I mean, particularly for you and I, right? FD? This has to do with your vocal training, right? Be it for speaking, be it for singing. We're so glad that we're here with Ian and Wendy, all from the Modern Vocal Training. Ian, Director of Modern Vocal Training UK, and also Wendy Tan, the Regional Mentor for MVT Singapore. And we're actually about to dive more into the techniques, right? You just posed a question on our Facebook Live about, what is this whole idea about the techniques?
What is vocal technique?
Yeah.
What does it really mean?
Yes. So if we could just carry on with that discussion. You mentioned about how, I like that analogy. You said that, look, your voice is the only one that you have. You can't go out and buy another one. It's like a tool. Like, you wouldn't leave your guitar out in the rain, right?
Yeah.
So we don't treat our voices well, apparently.
And I've never heard of using a nebulizer to
Interesting.
to help you.
Very interesting.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because what's interesting is, I had that phlegmy feeling, right?
Yes.
So I had this massive problem for like 8 weeks. I was very phlegmy and I couldn't get rid of it. And what I did was exactly what you said. I cut dairy completely. Unfortunately, I don't eat cheese now. But it's helped.
Yeah.
It's helped with that.
Yeah, you should try the mist. Yeah.
The nebulizer would be
because the saline would break down the mucus.
Yeah,
basically, and that'll clear that through.
That's correct.
But ultimately, what you're looking at there, from my perspective, and I'm obviously I'm not a medical person, but I would probably say that there was a reflux issue.
Probably.
Because when there's reflux, it dries out the vocal cords, and when the body senses that the vocal cords are dry, it starts to overly produce mucus to get moisture onto the vocal cords. And so you feel like you've got catarrh.
It's like there's something in the throat and you can't get rid of it.
That's right. Yeah. So you find yourself clearing your throat quite a lot.
Yes.
And a lot of people can feel this first thing in the morning, in particular.
Yeah.
And the statistics are, again, they're quite shocking. Apparently, about 80% of us have some form of reflux or something, or either like an acid reflux where there's a heartburn, or silent reflux where an enzyme called pepsin comes up and you don't feel the burn,
right?
But it dries out the vocal cords. So it's a bit like driving a car without enough oil in the engine, so things start to rub. Right. And it's endemic because we eat on the go, we eat at funny times, we don't take our time with our food, we don't eat the things that we should eat, etc. You know, so it really is something that we're just seeing all over the place, really. Yeah. And if you work a regular job, maybe in an office 9 to 5, then maybe you can have silent reflux and it doesn't really bother you or impact your work. But if you're a professional voice user, so if you're a teacher or work in a call center or a radio presenter or a singer, it's a big deal.
So, with the other thing I want to ask, as trainers, this thing that we all do, that is bad for you, isn't it?
For your voice.
Bad for your vocal cord as well.
It's really
it slams your vocal cords together.
Oh gosh!
Yeah. And we all do it.
Yeah,
we all do it.
Yeah, it's
every
like
time something irritates us. It's really bad.
Oh no. They're judging me.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there are things that you can do instead.
Yeah. Okay, come.
Yeah, so steaming and nebulizing is one thing that you can do. The second thing, and it sounds a bit weird, but it's called a reverse phonation, and it's where you breathe in and make a sound, right? And
how do you do that?
So it's a bit
that
sound, or you can do it through your nose, which is like a
good grief, you can do what the hell?
Wait. I can't do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
Oh, yeah.
And what that does is, if your larynx is sitting a bit high because things are a bit tense, it just kind of relaxes the larynx a little bit.
Wow.
And it allows the vocal cords to stretch a little bit, which is really good for the voice. It sounds awful. And it can make you kind of cough at first if you're not used to doing it. But over time, you end up just doing it. I've done it in like a supermarket checkout without even realising it before and got some very funny looks. Just a quick kind of...
I just want the parents to do this tonight.
And then you walked out, the ambulance was there. Everyone's like, are you okay?
I just want the parents tonight to do this. The parents do this tonight at 11 o'clock outside the kids' bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like you just wandered off a zombie movie or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Kids come running out.
That's a bad idea. Yeah, they'll find every excuse to get out. But
the easier way.
We'll talk about it when we go on to Facebook Live, and that way we can show everybody. Because I can't do it. I can't do this reverse thing.
We'll get you doing it, don't worry.
Okay, we'll get you doing it.
Okay.
Okay, we're on Facebook. We're talking about what? Reverse
phonation.
Reverse phonation. Can you give us an example again?
Yeah, so through the mouth. That's it. And then through the nose.
Okay.
I prefer through the nose. It's easier.
It's better. Yeah. It's much better.
Yeah. So you breathe and you make the... How do you breathe and make the sound?
You suck back.
Yeah, and make a sound at the same time.
What?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's like, sometimes if you're imitating someone who was snoring, kind of thing. It's a bit similar to that. That's one way to try and find it.
But it feels
and then you phone it. Then you make the sound.
That's it.
Is
it? Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Now
I do feel like it's
now close your mouth and do the same thing through your nose.
That's it.
That's it? Really? That is it?
You just need to activate the vocal
That was
cords.
a really good guideline. Say, pretend you're trying to snore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is, and I watched someone once do this. Tony Hadley used to be with Spandau Ballet.
Mm-hmm.
Before he does a concert, his warm-up is an hour.
Right.
He spends an hour warming up. It starts with almost nothing, and it becomes richer and richer and richer.
Yeah.
What are good vocal warm-ups? Not only for, say, us, but someone who's making a presentation, or something.
So there is a lot of kind of confusion about warming up the voice. So effectively, we're looking at stretching. So it's like, if you're going to go to the gym or go for a run, you just want to do some gentle stretches before you go, right?
Okay.
And it's the same thing. And there can be these kind of very long, punishing kind of warm-ups which people think are very effective, but they're not really.
Okay.
I think if you're warming up for an hour, so long as you start off very, very quiet and gentle and stretch,
that's right.
then I can see why maybe over an hour you get that benefit. But for me, it's about using your thumb, right? Because you've always got your thumb with you, right? And there's a set of exercises which are semi-occluded vocal tract exercises, or SOVTs. Ooh. And basically what we're doing is we're trying to generate a bit of back pressure. So we're not allowing all of our air just to leave.
Okay.
And that settles the vocal cords down, allows them to stretch. So you take your thumb, and as if you're going to blow up a balloon, you just put the tip between your lips, and you just go...
like that.
Like that, yeah. And so
someone take a video of this because we look stupid.
Yeah, it's great. But the thing is, it's reasonably quiet, so you can kind of do it wherever. You always have your thumb with you, hopefully. So it's not like you need any kit to do it.
Right.
And I do like a little routine where I do so revving the car engine.
Okay.
So just like a. And then the second part is being a bit of a boy racer. So
you blow into your cheek. Do you feel it?
You do feel it.
And then a bit of Formula One, which is.
Wow.
And then after that, I'll do Happy Birthday. So just like a.
Would like to dedicate it to anyone who's having their birthday today. Yeah. Just
if it is your birthday.
Make sure we get the most out of this.
And then you just kind of use your voice and think, does that feel a bit freer?
Yeah.
You can apply it before you start on air.
Yeah, because I don't have an hour, you know what I mean?
No, but basically it's what? It's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it needs to be.
Okay.
3 minutes on a thumb.
Yeah, and it's a great reset, you know. So in between sessions of using your voice, you can just very quickly do something like that.
That's a
back
great
in again.
idea.
Yeah, so we could do it during song breaks. We could do it wherever.
Exactly.
This is hilarious. So from here on, right, there'll be more photos of you and I, just always like.
So we call it a thumb trumpet.
A thumb trumpet. Got it.
Yeah.
Thumb trumpet.
Everyone, get your thumb trumpets out.
Oh, that's really, really good.
No, this is very good. Wow, it's really just at my fingertips.
Yeah,
it is.
It literally
is.
Literally is.
Hey. So, straining your voice is the next thing.
Yeah.
Most people will go, I've got a sore throat, I've strained my voice. But are there signs earlier than that?
It's usually, I mean, you can tell if you're watching someone because there's physical signs.
Oh.
So like someone's eyebrows are trying to escape off the top of their head as they're singing high notes, you know.
Right.
You can see the neck, kind of the veins in the neck kind of straining,
Are
you know,
you
or
serious?
raising the head.
I always thought that meant you had a powerful voice when you're like, whoa.
You know?
Yes and no. I mean, and then the other is like the self-reporting of the individual. Okay, so they will tell you, because sometimes you'll hear something and it might sound okay, but the person's like, I feel really uncomfortable after that.
Yeah.
And other times you hear something which sounds horrendous and the person's like, no, I could do that all day and be fine the next day. So it depends what kind of music you're used to and what it is that you're singing. But generally, strain is just like, it's overuse of a muscle and it's overuse of something or using something too much in an incorrect way.
Right.
So too much volume, too much effort in projection. Yeah. I think the problem that we have is that we're trying to balance a scale between resonance and effort. And most of us try to use effort to boost our volume, whereas we need resonance to boost our volume, essentially. And for me personally, I lose my voice more from talking than I do from singing.
Really?
Wow. And if I out somewhere socially and I'm talking over background noise, that will absolutely finish my voice off. And how many of us do that? You know, we talk over background noise and we just raise the voice a little bit and we start to push it, and then things start to feel a bit heavy because we're not sure if we're being heard, rather than being a bit more resonant.
How do we teach people? And I find this with so many MCs and masters of ceremony here in Singapore.
Okay.
The difference between projection and shouting.
So this is primal sounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so primal sounds are the sounds that we're born with.
Okay.
So crying, laughing, whinging, sobbing, calling. And so all of us can call out. So we can all go, hey! Right?
Yeah.
And it's an instant pop of energy in the room. You feel your body kind of engage behind it.
Okay.
But it's not a shout. It's not a hey, you know.
Exactly.
Where you're really grabbing in the voice. And so that's what we teach. It's how to work with your body. It's what are your... How well connected are you to your primal sounds?
I see,
right?
I see.
And for a lot of people, they've never heard the term primal sounds before.
Yep.
But we use our we are experts in voice. Every single one of us, since the age of 18 months, we are experts. This is such a complicated and sophisticated piece of kit that we all have. To be able to make the different vowel sounds that we make for all of our different languages. Right. We all wear different hats when we speak, so our radio voice is going to be different from how we're just talking to our loved ones at home.
Screaming at my kids, yes. Very different,
exactly.
yes.
So we wear these different hats vocally without realising it all the time. We pitch at different levels. If you're bilingual, then you're going to be using your voice in very different ways because you'll have very different vowel choreographies set up. So
I didn't think
we
of it
really
that
are experts at manipulating this instrument, and singing is just another way of manipulating the sounds that we make, and when I'm working with my singers, for example, I try to switch off the singer.
Right.
And say, look, how can we get the vessel that we're inhabiting to make sound as efficiently as possible?
Oh.
Right. From the loudest, most obnoxious sound to the quietest, most gentle sound.
Okay.
Because somewhere in the middle is going to be a sweet spot where we're going to happily live. But making like a loud sound, we call it like belting in singing. We don't want to be shouting. We want to be calling.
Okay.
Yeah? And so it's bringing people's awareness into the fact that they can call. And it's funny because you meet people who are naturally quite, maybe quite shy, or they're quite softly spoken.
Yes.
They can call out just as much as anybody else can because it's a defense mechanism, right? So it keeps you alive, being able to call. Yeah. So it's this is really
amazing because I mean, there's so much of our voice that we take for granted. Yeah. We don't even know that all of these are a part of our voice. We actually can harness it. I'm blown away. I'm really blown away. I just want to really quickly ask Wendy. I mean, both of you have trained so many of your students. What do you think is one of the top mistakes you actually see in your students when they come to you?
Top mistakes.
Did you see any mistakes in both of us when you walked in?
No.
Don't say anything.
Am I getting a free consult now? Absolutely.
I think the top thing is they always think that singing is difficult. Like they associate technique means singing is difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But actually, like what Ian has mentioned, we all have a built-in mechanism that naturally is able to make sound.
Okay.
So singing is part of sound making. Yeah, and that sound making, like how you feel like some people, they sing it with a lot of nasal sound,
right?
Or that they sing it with very bassy sound, possibly with a lot of impression that they have grown up with. Like I remember my uncle used to like emulate Elvis Presley, and he wants to sound like, but he actually does sound like that. So our job as a vocal coach is to help them find what is natural to them.
So you help them find their voice.
Yes.
Exactly. And that voice becomes their identity.
Wow.
Yeah, just like you, right?
Right.
That I almost feel like it becomes quite a revelation, huh? These sessions that the
it's
people
very
they come to you.
self-discovery.
Yes.
Yeah. You get to know about yourself.
I will say, Ian, that both of you mentioned that the voice is there in you. It's about how we use it, how we've actually been abusing it, right? And then you mentioned we've had this since we're 18 months. I just had my youngest is 1 year old. He had it since the day he was
absolutely.
born. The day he was born. He did not wait 18 months. He screamed in the hospital, and the doctor went like, "Ooh, your son has very strong lungs."
And they never lose their voice. They never lose their voice. Especially at 3 a.m. They never lose their voice, right? My kids didn't sleep through till they were both 2.
No.
So I know.
I just want to walk over there and hug you.
Okay, question from our Facebook. And this is very true, I feel, in Asia, and I'm sure in certain European countries as well. There are certain races that are they just sing better than others.
Yeah.
The Koreans, the Filipinos. For me, particularly the Filipinos and the Koreans.
Yes.
They have this natural thing about them.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with their language, or is it genes? Is it the when we
their culture maybe?
Is it the evolution of their body structure? What is it?
Yeah.
There's so many different things that come into play here. I think the big thing is culture and language.
Yeah.
Right.
I really do. I think if you dissect humans from all over the planet, the structure. I mean, if you dissect a horse, it's the same structure, right? It's just bigger, right?
It's bigger.
So there's lots of different things that there's so many variables that can come to play, But there's been studies done in terms of how accents develop, especially in the UK, where you drive 20 miles in any direction, the accent completely changes, right?
Okay.
And so they've looked at traditionally people didn't move far from where they were born, and so they'd all kind of stay in the same area.
Sure.
And so basically physical traits would be passed on within the same area, right? And so accents would develop alongside the physical traits that support those accents.
Oh, really?
If you see what
So
I mean.
it is linked.
So there is a link
to
there.
Physicality.
But then you have like cultural and racial melting pots like the USA, for example, where there's people from all over.
Yeah.
And that's when things get blurred then, because you've got people who are from all different kinds of backgrounds, and some can sing and some cannot. I think it's a lot to do with how you're growing up and how singing is modeled to you.
At home.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Filipinos, like, they sing all the time.
Yeah, right. It's part of their gatherings and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there is hope. There is hope. At least for me, you know what I mean?
Sing to your kids.
Okay.
Huh?
Your boys will be okay.
No, right now, like we discussed, they have got strong voices.
Yeah.
When it comes to screaming, yes, crying, yes.
Ian, you've taught and coached all over the world. Why was it important to bring this to Singapore?
Well, I will go wherever I'm asked to go.
Right.
So I've done this work all over Europe. I've done it in Bangkok. This is the first time I've come to Singapore, so I'm absolutely delighted and very privileged to be here. It's, as I say, I'll go anywhere. I will go where I'm asked to go. I think Wendy's probably better posed to answer that question in some ways.
So why Singapore?
Well, there's a rise in, like, a trend for singing. Like, nowadays you see so many different types of group coming together, right? Just singing. And in that singing field, I personally feel that MVT has a role to play.
Okay.
Yeah, in bringing the right practice, the right approach to singing.
Would you also say that, nowadays more and more of us are better informed, and we're actually seeking professional help for this, because now we're more aware that, hey, actually, we can go to a vocal coach. It's last time you only think like, oh, is it really, do I need it for my profession? It's also more accessible. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's
and
also
there are
the
more
reason
people
why,
looking for like help because of that awareness.
Yeah.
So like whenever people are like, oh, I feel my voice is sizzly, I think I need to go to a vocal coach. So there's like a gap that I feel that we can fill in.
How young can someone start vocal training?
Wow. I mean, my daughter popped out the womb singing.
Sorry?
Literally. Literally.
No.
And, she sings and has always sung. And I think with kids, I mean, I don't work with a lot of children.
Okay.
Wendy, you work with loads of kids, right? For me personally, and I'm happy to be wrong, Wendy, but with kids, you've got to keep it fun.
Yeah.
Because their attention spans are a lot
very short.
less. So I would talk more about kind of identity and technique perhaps with adults than I would with kids.
I think that makes sense.
With kids,
that
I think
makes
we
sense,
just need them to sing and enjoy singing. And
because it's really hard for them to be aware of the physical techniques and all that, right?
I mean, they're super smart kids,
they're
right?
super smart, but still,
you can
right?
drip feed the education in as you go. But I think it needs to be fun predominantly.
Okay, how about this question to both of you? What is the best age to start vocal training in your opinions? And is it ever too late?
Well,
how old is your oldest student? Is it ever too late? So those two questions, go.
So to me, as a early childhood trained person, because I run preschools.
Oh, right.
So my children,
all her kids just sing wonderfully. They speak wonderfully. You go in there and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm on a set of a musical.
We sing to them all the time, don't we? They are parents, right?
True.
And from there, the exposure is already part of their training.
I see.
But for my preschool, we start formal training like 3 years old.
Really? So that's a good age to start, you feel?
Play, it's very play-based.
Okay.
Yeah. But I remember there's one parent that wanted me to coach the child like 1-to-1 at 4 years old.
Really?
So
we're going to have you share that story in particular on air.
Sure.
And we're going to jump back onto 1FM. Everyone, please do come and join us. So we were about to launch into a really, really great discussion, because I posed to the both of you. I said, what is a good age? What is a recommended good age for anyone to start? And also, is it ever too late? So Wendy, you were sharing that you are an early child educator, and at your preschool, the kids are actually taught the techniques through play, right? At the age of 3. Yeah. I want to sit among. I want to be trained. So it sounds like fun. Yeah. And then you had a mom who came to you and wanted you to do one-on-one training with her child at the age of 4. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that? Is it too young? You feel no?
It depends on the child.
Okay.
Yeah. Some children are just better, you know.
Right.
They're interested. You know,
the mom probably saw something in
and
her
the
daughter,
mom
right?
is constantly supporting that.
Yeah,
like the mom will sit in the
secretly
class.
learning the techniques because actually she's the one that wants to
Exactly.
learn.
Like, and I've done this during COVID, you know. The child comes on Zoom with the mom.
Wow.
And I will be coaching both the mom and the child.
That is so, actually that's quite fun.
That's cool.
I should do that with my boys, you know, because they already know that I do this as professionally. They did their first voiceover and I was really proud. So for Ian and Wendy, is it ever too late?
My oldest student is 75. And
mine is 80.
My
students,
my competition.
She wins.
Wow.
And this individual has always sung, but wanted to get better and wanted to. Obviously, as we age, things don't work as fluidly.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, she just wanted to kind of get more help with her range, basically. And she comes every single week. You know.
So you did probably feel that she had some mistakes. You know, she could better her techniques.
Her voice had started drifting lower.
As you age, it goes lower.
And so we just kind of unlocking the voice. And, you know, things that have, female voice has a lot harder time of it than male voice because of hormonal influences in the body, and menopause and perimenopause.
So we'll all sound like men eventually.
Well, you know, it's there's HRT. You know,
the answer is yes. The way you phrase it is
thickens.
It really does. But then with menopause, the cartilage, because the larynx is mainly cartilage, and cartilage can calcify through menopause, and so that can become quite rigid. Yeah. But it's if you train. If you've been using your voice in training before, like menopause, we tend to see better outcomes post-menopause. Whereas if you're someone who bucket lists it and just think, oh, I'm in my 60s now and I want to take up singing, that can be trickier.
Which
depending
is
on the individual.
Probably the both of you faced with your more senior students. Interesting.
Okay, so in a masterclass, what happens that people might not expect?
How quickly we can change a person's voice.
Change a person's voice.
Yes.
Do they kind of then have a little bit of an identity crisis, you know, because, you know, they've changed everything, they're like, oh, but I don't...
Not in that way, because people who come to the workshops probably are people who already identify with being a singer.
I see.
And that's a really interesting point as well, because we were talking about this last night. I can have someone come into my teaching studio who's actually got a really great sounding voice, but they don't identify with being a singer. And someone can come in who hasn't got the best voice, but fully owns the label of being a singer. You know, and we can think of examples of this through pop culture. You know, there's been people's voices who've had hugely successful careers. I'm not going to name anyone, but their voices might not be the best, but it hasn't mattered because they own that identity. You know.
So here's the thing. We got this off our Facebook. I'm glad you brought that up. Michael Jackson spoke the way he sang. And he said he did that to maintain his vocal range.
Oh, wow.
Myth or truth?
Oh, my gosh.
I'll tell you what, let's take that question onto our Facebook Live as well. So all you MJ fans, you got to join us so you know the answer to this one.
So the question was on our Facebook page.
Okay.
Michael Jackson spoke the way he did and the same way he sang. And it was said that he did so to maintain his vocal range.
I didn't know that. I just thought he was like that, love. You know?
So some of the people that I trained with coached Michael Jackson.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. So, I've heard, and there are recordings, I think, on YouTube still.
On YouTube.
Of Michael
with
Jackson
with
Seth Riggs exercising his entire vocal range.
Right.
And he had an enormous range. He could sing really deep and low and really high as well.
No.
And, you know, listening to him talk, and this is just me guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that Michael Jackson was someone who spoke in what we would call his mix which is a mixture between the chest voice, which is like the low part of the range, and the head voice, which is the high part of the range.
So for people who don't understand the chest voice, it's when you can put your hand on your chest
and you feel that,
you feel a rumble,
that vibration.
That vibration, yeah.
So essentially, anatomically, it's when the vocal cords are short and fat.
Yeah.
And then when they stretch long and thin, we're in our head voices. And the mix, which can be quite hard to define, is the stages in between being short and fat and long and thin. So it's like living in the stretched process, if you like. A lot of women speak naturally in their mixed places, whereas men, because of puberty, end up speaking a lot of the time in their chest voices.
So,
there you go.
Wow, that is really
Crazy,
interesting
right?
music trivia. Wow, and to think that you actually have interacted with the very people who trained him.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
He's
Like 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, you reckon? So, Wendy, who benefits the most? Singers, teachers, people who are just curious about their voice? Who would benefit the most?
Well, actually, everyone will benefit. Yeah, it depends on why you come in for. For the singers, like what Ian has mentioned, you would discover more that how naturally you can fix your voice. And then for those who just want to get to know their own voice.
Okay.
They've never really sung.
Okay.
But they just want to find out more about their voice.
Right.
Yeah. They will find out so much more. Yeah, about what they can do with their voice and find their identity.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty much sure. Yeah, I'm pretty much sure I know the answer to this question. Ian, what's the one thing you wish more people understood about their own voice?
Just how unique and special it is,
and what you can do with it.
And what you can do with it. It's like a fingerprint, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you can sound similar to family members, but your voice is your voice, right? It's very, very unique. It's your fingerprint.
That's
and so
true.
it's one of our primary identifiers is our
Sure.
voice. People identify us by our voice. And so I think people need to realize just how capable we are as humans of making sounds, and that singing isn't this elite spectator sport that's been sold to us, right? Singing culturally, if we go back in history, was something that many, many people participated in.
Okay.
And because of a variety of kind of like TV shows and things, we've ended up, it's this elite spectator sport.
But you have to be born with it.
Yeah, and that's really sad.
But actually, technically, we are all born with it.
Yeah, we can all make sound,
okay.
And it's about celebrating that, I think.
So here's another question, not necessarily on our list, but it's just dawned on me. Do you guys only teach English?
In English? Or
because I'm wondering, what's the difference teaching someone about their voice when it's English and particularly when it's Chinese?
Oh.
Wendy.
Yeah.
That's got to be completely different.
Is
because
it?
of the
Is
whole
it?
intonation. It's got to be different.
Yeah. And because because of the accent, so the vowels are also flatter.
Okay,
right?
okay.
It's not so rounded.
Okay.
So and it does affect vocal function.
It really does,
Yeah, because when they breach, and of course stylistically, the way they express themselves is different. But for vocal coaches, because we are so well informed about what goes on inside,
sure.
Yeah, we're able to address all kinds of we teach Japanese, we teach Korean,
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's more about the technique and all that.
Yeah,
and
but
how it's adjusted
there's
to the
something
individual.
culturally.
Okay.
Sometimes, like for example, the Germans or the Japanese, they tend to clip their voice too much.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
and when that happens, it kind of affect the way they make their sounds. If they want to sing smoothly, from bottom to top.
From what I gather from what you just shared, right, the both of you, cultural differences, language differences, it's actually all down to a technique, right? I mean, ultimately, right? Because of the way that they're using voice, and because you guys are aware of that technique they are using subconsciously or anything, you are able to correct it. Okay. Okay.
And I think of it in terms of the word choreography, because it's a dance.
Right?
Oh. So if you use the word technique, again, that can mean different things for people.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure. We are going back on air, so come and join us as we dive a little bit more into this question.
That's Wham and Freedom. It's 8:53. We've got a couple more questions, and then we'll go into quickfire.
So, FD, you brought a really interesting question, right? Talking about does it matter if the lessons were actually taught in English? Because language-wise, cultural-wise,
especially for Chinese.
Yeah. And then, Wendy, you shared a little bit. Maybe we could have you just recap that question again.
Yeah.
So, Wendy, you were saying that, languages do give differences to how people use their voice.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about, I think, was it the Germans and the Japanese tend to they clip their voice. So I was saying that is it then ultimately just technique? And you were about to say to look at it as a
choreography. So I think technique is a word that's quite loaded, as we kind of discussed before.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas choreography is a dance, and every language and every accent within a language has its own vowel choreography.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so it's understanding that choreography and how we create vowel sounds. And one of the reasons why English is such a successful language to sing in is because we have many diphthongs. Okay. And some languages don't have a lot of diphthongs. And so the diphthong is a really powerful tool of balancing the voice out as well.
Really?
But every language has got its own kind of quirks, that are benefits and some things which may not be a benefit. But as Wendy was saying, our job is to listen to how this person makes sound, and we have to get outside of language and outside of culture in many ways, and just go, well, how can we make this sound more efficient?
Right.
And I work with a student who is in Malaysia, and she speaks fluent English and she speaks Mandarin as well. A lot of her students are Mandarin, and we've had really interesting conversations about the 4 tones in Mandarin. And how does that apply to in Mandarin pop, which is kind of Western melody styles, but with a tonal language. And she was like, you've not even thought about it, because it's just become normal to sing these songs, right? So there's loads of different socially things to think about. I think it's a very interesting topic.
Oh my god!
Oh, I'm sure it is. By the way, if you guys want to find out more about modern vocal training, go to their Instagram. It's real easy, at Modern Vocal Training, and you can find out a little bit more about them. You'll understand what they do a little bit more. Wendy,
excuse me.
No, sorry, Ian. After all this training, you're here in Singapore. I'm sure Wendy has spoken to you. What do you expect to come out of this class?
The one thing I love about the work we do is that it's not just vocal training, it's community forming and building as well.
Okay.
And for singing teachers, our job is actually quite a lonely job. It's you in a room and it's one in, one out. Right? And so one of the most powerful aspects of what we do is bringing singing teachers together to realise all the different gifts that we have, the different expertises that we have, to learn from each other and to just have that thing in common with each other, So I'm just looking forward to community building, really. And I'm going to be meeting teachers for the first time that I've only ever worked with on Zoom.
My gosh.
So that's really exciting always.
Okay, so we're going to end the interview with our quick fire questions. We fire the question, you just come back and answer it. Each of you will have to answer it. So, warm up before singing, essential or overrated?
Essential.
Okay. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Try a Little Tenderness.
Try a Little Tenderness.
Yeah.
Nice song.
Okay. How about for you, Wendy?
All I Ask by Adele.
Wow.
Oh, nice. And if you could coach any singer in the world, past or present, who would it be? Go.
Anyone.
Honestly, it's a privilege to work with anyone's voice.
It really is. Anyone.
How about those whose names you refuse to mention, who can't really sing, but no, I won't put you on the spot.
Wendy's already told us her morning routine. Ian, what's your morning routine?
Very similar. The shower's a great place to warm the voice up because of the steam. So exercises in the shower, using my thumb, using the nebulizer.
Right.
But I don't function until I've had caffeine. So I have to make sure that there's coffee but water at the same time.
Okay.
No, you just hold the cup, and you breathe in the steam from the coffee.
That doesn't work.
You can tell Ian's from the UK.
What?
Because he says showers have steam. No Singapore shower.
I've noticed.
Singapore shower has steam.
Oh, that's right.
It's too hot here.
Yeah.
That's
you're not going to do that, no.
I was just like, dude, this guy needs to have his coffee before he does anything. I feel you.
Yeah, I picked up the steam in the shower.
Yeah.
Okay, finish this sentence. Last one. Finish this sentence. A great singer is someone who...
moves you.
Okay.
Impacts life.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you
That
go.
is so true.
Ian, Wendy, thank you so much for being
Thank
with us.
you.
It's been absolutely
Thank
brilliant.
you.
We did ask earlier if there were any spaces, and Wendy, you said there were
Just
one or two.
Yep.
You go to
Wow.
Instagram at Modern Vocal Training. You'll be able to find registration and more information there. Okay? So that happens this weekend, 14th to the 18th.
Yeah, so very excited, and of course, your first time here in Singapore, Ian. Have an amazing
Thank
time,
you so
and
much.
I think you're going to be impacting a lot of lives while you're
We hope
here
so.
for the both
Yep.
of you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
The right way to start your day.
All right, here we go. Let's get started.